Imagine a crew at an empty dirt lot. They start pouring concrete and framing walls without a blueprint. The homeowner says, "I want 3 bedrooms, a kitchen, and a living room." In software, we call this the requirements. But knowing the requirements doesn't mean the crew can just grab their hammers and start smashing wood together. If they try, the bathroom plumbing might end up in the living room ceiling, doors won't align, and they will have to waste money tearing down walls to fix their structural mistakes. They need an architect's plan first. Building software works exactly the same way. Imagine a manager drops a massive 100-page document on your desk. This is the master requirements list, every single feature the customer asked for. They look at you, tap the huge stack of paper, and say, "Start coding." If you start typing out lines of code right then, your project will run into the digital equivalent of misaligned walls and broken plumbing. Before you ever touch a keyboard, you need a plan. You need software design. That master requirements list is important, but it has a specific limit. It tells your team exactly what you are supposed to build. It says nothing about how you should build it. Say your client wants an online shopping app. The requirements list all the desired features, but they leave out how the database should store credit card numbers, how the checkout communicates with the warehouse, or the steps required to safely log a user in. To figure out those structural mechanics, we step into the software design phase. Looking at this screen, you can see the clear division of labor. The requirements give you the what to build, while the design gives you the how to build. This phase is the essential bridge. By turning a customer's raw idea into a mapped-out roadmap, you stop developers from blindly typing out code and then having to delete weeks of hard work when they hit a structural error. Just like an architect looks at the full house layout before a builder frames a single room, software design happens at 2 different levels of detail. We always start high up with high-level design. This diagram shows what a high-level design looks like for a shopping app. It maps out the overall architecture by breaking a massive project down into large modules. As those pulses of light show, this determines how these distinct modules talk to each other. Once the overall floor plan is settled, we zoom in on the exact details. This is low-level design. Here, we focus entirely on the step-by-step logic inside just one single module. If we look closely at the login module, we see the low-level design spelling out the internal logic. When we see steps highlighting, like validating a user or checking a password, we're looking at the exact instructions needed to build. High-level design aligns the architect's overall vision for the entire app. Low-level design gives the programmer the precise, logical instructions they need to sit down, look at their screen, and finally start typing. Building software in these separate, self-contained pieces is called modular design. Doing it this way ensures that if one piece needs to be fixed, you don't have to rewrite the entire program. Watch as the login module detaches from our shopping app. Because we planned it out as an independent piece, we can pull it out and slot it into the structure for a completely different project, like a food delivery app. This is what we call reusability. By letting a module plug into multiple different projects, we save the hundreds of hours it would take to build that same logic from scratch every single time. If we step back and look at the lifespan of a successful project, a clear pipeline emerges. Everything begins with the initial idea from your customer. This timeline lays out the correct progression. The customer's idea generates the requirements, the what. Those requirements shape the software design, the how. And only after the design is finished do you begin the coding, the actual implementation. If you ever grab a list of requirements and immediately start hammering out code, your digital house will eventually collapse. True professionals never skip the design phase. They always map the blueprint first.